yet. Actually, we have played many of the songs live, but some of them we haven't even played live yet, so we still have a lot of headline tours to come. So some of the songs will still get their live debut, actually. So yeah, it's we still have a long way to go with these songs, and I'm happy that a lot of it is still fresh. That totally surprised me is the fact that we recorded it in like a record time. We spent, 2 or 3 times as much time on some of our previous records, and they were not necessarily more successful. So what I take from that is that when we just do when we just take the music that comes to us in the writing room, don't second guess it too much, work with that and kind of follow our instincts, then that's alright. That things do not necessarily get better if you rewrite them and rewrite them again and rewrite them again. I really feel that this record and the way that it's been received so positively, that is kind of a confirmation of our instincts, so to speak. And this I really like. About it, or whether I would write about it. I think Charlotte is one of the songs. It was actually only on the limited edition, but it was one of the songs where I thought, usually even our sad songs, they always have kind of a spark of hope somewhere. And I think Charlotte was one of the first songs where really, it's a depressing song basically. It's really, for me, that's feeling where it comes from, and I have one moment where I thought, is it good to market such a negative emotion, basically? And then I thought yes, because when I look at myself and when I look at the music that I listen to whenever I feel down, sometimes the really sad songs can make you feel better. Yeah. Because they kind of confirm that feeling and they make you feel like you're not alone in having that feeling. So I had doubts about that one because I thought that maybe it was too dark. Of course, it's nothing in comparison with what some bands do, but I try to compare it only with my own feelings and not what other people are doing. So this was one, and another one is Tell Me Mechanics. It's not like the song is telling anybody what they should do or something. It's merely about it's about this philosophical conversation between 2 guys talking about the abilities of animals to feel pain. But I had some doubts of putting that out there because, of course, if you talk about animals and their abilities to feel pain, then it is kind of a statement about a lot of practices we do, like eating meat and eating dairy, and I doubted whether I should do that because I have not been eating meat for 3 years now, and I have tried to go vegan, but at the moment it's not going so well. I cheat a bit, and I thought, okay, put something like that out there. Actually, the song was written before I met her, but now that you talk about this was the one tour where it was really easy for me to be vegan, because she put a lot of vegetables on the rider, and she could always tell me, because of course she's been vegan forever, she could always tell me like, oh, that's where you get vegan donuts, that's where you get vegan this, that's where you get vegan that. So back then it was actually really easy, and now I sometimes have a bit of a hard time, but still, if anybody would ask me, I would still say that it's much easier than everybody thinks. But this is somewhere where I doubted, because I thought, you don't want to become too preachy. But then again, this song doesn't tell anyone to do anything. It's merely a statement that I think everybody agrees on, but not everybody acts on. So, yeah. I think success is basically when you are just very content with what you are doing. I do not necessarily measure it in album sales or how many people come to your gigs. Although, of course, it does say a lot about what you're doing, but for me the feeling of success is much more, for example, when you finish writing a song and you really like how it turned out, or when you record a song and you hit that note perfectly and you listen back to it and think like, fuck yes, these moments of success are, I guess, more worthy, because Um, you know, if you sell enough records or if you sell enough tickets, this is a very nice feeling of security. Because if you don't, you know, you might lose the opportunity to do what you do. The real success, I think, comes from the reward of creating something nice. That we're apping all the time. But I think that for the most part we will see this when we start recording and writing a new album, for example. Maybe you will be involved in that. And I also know that, for example, if there will be an opportunity where Ruben you know, cannot play a gig for what reason whatsoever, then he will always do that gig, you know. So yeah, I think so. We haven't lost contact at all. Not so much, not as much as people would think, I guess. Maybe both Neil and I are not the right girls to ask, because we're not typically, we're not the most girly girl types, so I don't mind wearing the same clothes for a couple of days. I don't mind living in a smelly tour bus, I mean, it's home. I only get annoyed when you don't have a possibility to shower like for a very long time. This does get annoying, but it's you know, it's possible. It's just a matter of planning ahead. And every now and then washing your clothes in the sink in the toilet and then hanging them out and see if it works. But yeah. Well, I always feel really much in my comfort zone when we write together with Martijn and Guus. Guus is not in the live band, but he's been writing with us for a very long time, and we write most of the songs, the three of us, you know, in the basics. So I think this is really, yeah, this is really, you know, that's where you kind of be in comfort zone, you know each other, you know, kind of what everybody can do. This is really nice. Yeah, but also when it comes to other stuff surrounding the band, we have a photographer that we always work with, Sandra Ludovic, and she's always fantastic. And we have you know, Glenn Arthur, who made two of our, you know, this is also and I love the outcome of that and the entire process. So you get to work with a lot of people, and you get to work with a lot of people who have crazy talents in this business, and that's really, really cool. Barack Obama, the Dalai Lama, Björk, because music. It would definitely be rock/metal crossover. So I would want some classic rock bands. So, you know, get fucking Deep Purple out there, and get some more of the loud rock bands like Foo Fighters and maybe Queens of the Stone Age. Then, you know, some real metal bands. Yeah. Oh, I want in this moment there, Hailstorm. And it would be like a real weird crossover festival. Slayer should be there because, you know, what's a festival without Slayer? Oh, I would put ourselves there as well. And no, I would make a real like rock metal crossover. And also, very important, I'll make a small stage where upcoming bands can win a chance through local band competitions to get a spot on the festival, and maybe even put one of them on like the big stages as an opener. I think it's really important that, you know, bands that are starting out get that chance. I've been to Auschwitz a couple of days ago, and this was I had never been there before. I hesitated whether this was a good time to go, because I can get depressed from reading the newspaper, let alone, you know, visiting Auschwitz. But then again, I thought, well, nobody who ever went there felt like getting depressed, and I have a choice, and kind of felt like a responsibility to to go and see what happens, you know, because remembering history is so important. Yeah, that had a big impact. Not really in a nice way, but yeah, you know, not everything can be fun and games all the time. So. I know that, you know, it really depends on what country or how people respond to the music, but for me, I really like it when people are interactive. So when they really join into the energy of the music, when they, you know, when they shout, when they go crazy. I know that some people just like to watch a show. Me, myself, I just like to watch a show and listen. But yeah, if you're on stage, it is so cool to see all the hands going up in the air and I cannot really describe it, but that is for me. If you just see that people have a good time, you know, if you just see that people are enjoying